Love your enemies. When our love is perfect, we will not have enemies in the first place. My dear sisters, I was told that my homily can be only for 5 minutes. Yeah, many are happy. That's why I was told. Because you are going to listen to many talks from the experts on various topics. So you may not be able to afford to have another talk during the homily, during the mass. Also, maybe the sisters knew that generally professors speak a lot, right? And I'm a professor, so they are worried that I may also speak a lot. So they gave the time limit, 5 minutes. I said yes, 5 minutes at the end. All right. Okay, just I want to highlight two little insights from today's gospel passage. Am I audible? Is it clear? Probably earlier it was not audible, so sister increased the volume. Once in the class, I asked, am I audible? One student from the last row, he said, you are not audible, but no problem, go ahead. Alright? Okay. Jesus' statements sometimes sound very paradoxical, sometimes sound very impossible. For example, one of the paradoxical statements, to save your life, you lose it. In fact, that's a gospel passage tomorrow. And today, another statement which sounds very impossible, love your enemies. We know how difficult it is to love our own friends to begin with, and how to love our enemies. And then the last sentence, be perfect as the Heavenly Father is perfect. Now, is it possible at all to be perfect as the Heavenly Father? Is Jesus not aware of this impossibility? We, as mortal human beings who are limited in space and time, is it possible for us to be perfect as the Heavenly Father? Is it possible to love our enemies? But still, Jesus says these things. That means there must be some meaning. Jesus will not say if it is not possible or if it is meaningless. Yes or no? At least that's what I think. So, do you think it is possible to be perfect as a Heavenly Father? What do you say? During the Mass, you can talk. After the Mass, you keep silence because the retreat demands silence, right? But during the Mass, you can talk. Is it possible to be perfect as a Heavenly Father? Why? Then why Jesus says so? We should ask Jesus. Isn't it? Is it possible to love our enemies? Yeah. In my opinion, it is possible, may not be practical. It is possible to love, to be perfect as a Heavenly Father. It is possible to be perfect as a Heavenly Father, but it is not practical. Why is it not practical? Obviously, we are human beings limited in space and time, so it is not practical in that sense, but it is possible. Why? Because we have been created in the image and likeness of God. So there is a possibility of being perfect as the Heavenly Father. So when Jesus says, be perfect as Heavenly Father, He did not say without thinking. He knows. And He keeps that ideal towards which we have to move. So perfection is always a process. It's not a product. As long as we are human beings with our own limitations, our own weaknesses, we will never arrive at perfection, but we have to be moving towards perfection. So Jesus gives that great ideal of being perfect as the Heavenly Father precisely because it is ontologically possible to become perfect because we have been created in the image and likeness of God. Again, when Jesus says, love one another or love others as you love yourself, and today's gospel, love your enemies as you love yourself. Now, when I need to love others as I self, I need to pay attention. Supposing one can say, I love cigars, I love liquor, I love drugs, I need to love others, so let me give this also to them. Is it correct? No. Our love should be perfect. Our love should be holistic. Now, this holistic love will not allow something which is going to damage our body, mind, and soul. So, our love should be towards a holistic life which takes care of all these three dimensions of my body, my mind, and soul. Of my body, so physical health. Whatever is not holistically contributing to my physical health or the holistic health, a real love will not do that. And whatever is going to affect the emotional health, the mental health for me or for my neighbor, the perfect love will not allow it. And similarly, the soul. Whatever is going to affect my soul, the love will not affect, will not allow it. So, the mental health, for example, it invites us to take care of our emotional intelligence. Today, we speak about emotional intelligence so much, and generally, we know about the cognitive intelligence, which we read, which we increase by reading books, by our university degrees, and so on, cognitive intelligence. But this cognitive intelligence will not be helpful without emotional intelligence. The 20th century, Daniel Goleman and many others, they make great discoveries of our emotions, the importance of our emotions. You know, emotions determine the actions, the words, and the character of our lives. The invisible emotions determine the visible actions, audible words. Therefore, we need to take the emotions seriously. And without this emotional intelligence, our cognitive intelligence will not be useful. You must have heard about IQ. What's it, IQ? Once a teacher told a parent, your student, your boy has less IQ. Then the father said, okay, I should take him to an eye doctor. Which eye doctor is better to cure the IQ? He thought some IQ is disease with the eyes. So IQ is intelligent quotient. Similarly, EQ, emergency quota. EQ is emotional quotient. Today, we lack this emotional quotient, emotional intelligence, therefore, our IQ also is going less. And unfortunately, today, the school teaches a student to be expert in writing, how to read, how to draw, how to run, how to swim. But the school never teaches the students how to be emotionally intelligent. That's a big drawback of our school system. And our students are left to learn from their parents how to be emotionally intelligent. But unfortunately, not all the parents are emotionally intelligent. When the father is angry with the boss in the office, he shows it on wife at home, the mother. When the mother is angry with the father, she shows it on the child. So the child thinks, when we think somebody bigger or greater than us, if we are angry with them, we should show it on somebody who is less. So if the child is angry with the parents, the anger will be shown on the pet animal, the dog or the pillow. So this is how we learn. But this emotional intelligence is very essential for our holistic mental health. Similarly, the health of soul. When our soul is healthy, we never lose meaning in life. We never lose purpose in life. So the point is, we should move towards the holistic health, which involves body, mind, and soul. And when I love myself in all these three aspects, I love the same way my neighbors. And the same way I love my enemies for the holistic life. If I do the same thing to them, in the first place, there won't be any enemies at all. When the other person knows that I'm really interested, really concerned about him, her, etc., for the holistic life, then naturally there will not be any enemies. Therefore, when Jesus says, love your enemies, the implication, if your love is perfect, you will not have enemies at all. When Jesus says, be perfect as the Heavenly Father, the implication is you are called towards perfection. It is possible, metaphysically, ontologically speaking, it is possible to be perfect like the Heavenly Father because you have been created in the image and likeness of the Heavenly Father. But we may complain, it is not practical. Yes, it's not practical. That is where we are called to exercise the uh, great efforts on our part to come closer towards God and towards that perfection. Therefore, my dear sisters, retreat is the time to reflect upon these great things. Why is it not possible to love my neighbor? Why is it not possible to love my enemies? In the first place, why at all do I have enemies? That we should ask again, what should I do in my personal life to become perfect like the Heavenly Father? Because metaphysically, it is possible for me to become perfect like the Heavenly Father. And if I find it difficult in my practical life situations, why those difficulties arise and what I should do to overcome those difficulties. Let us think about it.